Hey, hey, hey everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well, and it's time for our weekly track roundup, where I go over with you guys what I felt were the best and the worst tracks of the week. Let's go! First, I have to mention our sponsor. I know that a lot of you guys are into live music, live musical performances. I know I am. That's why I'm tired right now, because I saw a bunch of shows this weekend. I saw David Byrne, I saw Alex Cameron, so I'm a little dead tired right now. But for those of you who have not been to shows all weekend and are looking for more shows to go to, specifically in the Texas area during South by Southwest, the good people over at Feed Bands, who have done sponsorships with the channel before, are doing a March 15th, a March 16th, and a March 17th event, where they have 25 different artists that they have released vinyl with on the Feed Bands platform, all performing on those 3 days. It is an unofficial South by Southwest showcase, an unofficial South by Southwest musical event. People will be able to get 25-cent beer, 25-cent wines, 25-cent tacos, and the event is sponsored by the Dash cryptocurrency. You will be able to spend Dash on site, apparently. So you'll be able to spend that cryptocurrency there. So I think that's everything I need to tell you guys. Also, check out the Feed Bands website. That's going to be linked down below, along with the Facebook event link to this event, along with the Eventbrite link to this event. So be there. Thanks again to Feed Bands for sponsoring us. And like I said, not only should you check out this event, but check out what they have to offer over there on the site for music fans and music artists as well. They do interesting vinyl runs for independent artists. And they're getting a lot of good underground artists' music printed. All right, guys. All right. Let's get into, I think one shout out that I have to do. Of course, our Amazon and Turntable Lab associate links are down there in the description box if you guys want to treat yourselves. But also, our good friend FRANKJAVCEE has a new project out, FRANKJAVCEE Volume 2.2. It's out via Bandcamp and all other platforms, streaming platforms, where you can typically find Mr. JAVCEE's music. He has asked me not to review this. He said to me, Anthony, my EP is a 10, and it's going to totally ruin you and destroy your brand if you go and review it. And I don't want that to happen to you. So he's a dear friend. He's looking out for me. He's worried about me. He wants me to be well. So I guess just know that he says it's a 10. He says it's the best thing he's ever come out with. So there you go. It's a link down there in the description box for you to check out. Cool. All right, let's get into the worst tracks of the week. I just got a text from my good friend Jeremy over here, who typically assembles the single art to these segments, and he texted me. He said, "Fuck, I forgot the Decemberists cover art," which is hilarious. Thank you very much, Jeremy. The Decemberists have a new single out. The single is obviously going to make it into the worst tracks segment this week. The single is titled "Once in My Life," which is actually the amount of times that I want to hear this song. Just one time in my life. No more than one single time, please. Thank you. Really, their kind of quaint, folky sound is really, truly wearing thin. And I feel like they've kind of painted themselves into a very annoying, kitschy, uncreative corner. And I'm not really sure how to explain it outside of that. So thank you very much, Jeremy. For that. Shout out to Jeremy. All right, moving on from there, not really into the new Zoo and Tame Impala collaborative track, My Life. I guess I don't mind conceptually him going in a more electronic direction with Tame Impala, since that's kind of where things seem to be going as far as musical trends overall, and he seemed to take to electronics pretty well on the last Tame Impala record, Currents, but to me, just kind of coming out with some very bland, eerie, I don't know, just like techno house fusions is just really uninteresting to me, I guess. But that's just me. Moving on from there, the new XXXTENTACION track that came out last week, which actually on the surface, the song doesn't sound that bad. Suicide. It's got a hooky little vocal melody, but what kind of made this song wane for me was that it's really redundant. It's really repetitive, like much of his other tracks. I don't really know if he knows much about structuring a song. And on top of that, the deeper I got into the lyrics, the more disturbed I got, because if I'm reading them correctly, it comes off kind of like a threat to kill yourself if somebody like leaves you or distances themselves from you, which is grossly manipulative. Maybe a behavior that somebody else he knows exhibited and he's kind of just commenting on it. But either way, the framing of that isn't quite clear if that's the case. And it's just, I don't know, it just seems like a really gross manipulative track to me. I don't know. But again, that's just me. Moving on from there. Let's get into this next track from Sting and Shaggy. This collaborative album, it's still coming. It's really happening. It's real life, guys. We're not lying to you. Sting and Shaggy, they do have a collaborative album coming out, and this new song is titled "Morning Is Coming." It sounds just as phoned in as the last track. Could barely even sit through it. Also Lily Allen has 2 painfully boring tracks out titled 3 and Higher, and I'm not really sure what I need to say about these songs other than that. Let's get into the tracks that I was kind of meh on. Not terrible, but not amazing either. These tracks I felt like they were worth bringing up, worth mentioning, worth pointing your attention toward. Remember, every track that I mentioned in this segment is linked down there in the description box so you can hear it all for yourself. Let's see, new Vince Staples track. This song, it's all right. Get the fuck off my dick. It's not one of his better tracks, and in fact, I don't really think it's meant to be one of his better tracks. To me, this song is just kind of a follow-up of that big kind of meme promotional campaign he had earlier in the week, Get Off My Dick, where he's essentially daring his haters to fund a $2 million GoFundMe to make him go away, which, even if that did end up happening, I sort of question how long he would actually go away, if he would ever really truly go away permanently, because honestly, an artist at Vince Staples' level, he's set to make way more than $2 million over the course of the rest of his career. So I haven't read the fine print or anything, so maybe the agreement was that he would go away for a limited period of time or whatever, but just $2 million, even if it's just kind of all at once, I don't know. To me, Vince Staples in the long run, he's going to make way more than $2 million, and as an artist is worth much more. So if anything, I feel like he kind of lowballed himself, but that's just me. But the song itself is okay. It's kind of redundant. It's kind of repetitive. But, if you're into the meme, if you're into the joke, it's kind of funny. This new track from Sade is out. Woo, woo, woo. Flower of the Universe. It's kind of pretty tune. It's a nice, pretty epic, elegant tune for this new Disney A Wrinkle in Time soundtrack. The track certainly sounds better than some of the weird costumes that I've seen in the previews for the movie. So I guess we'll say that. Moving on from there, new Peggy, new JPEGMAFIA. Definitely not as hard or as crazy or as experimental as a lot of the cuts off of Peggy's recent Veteran project, which, if you haven't heard it, is one of my favorite rap records of the year, but certainly worth checking out. Definitely a fun cut. Next, this new song from, this is the new Grouper track, Parking Lot. It was kind of hard to kind of say what exactly makes this track cutting edge, because I don't really feel like there's not a lot about that makes it super cutting edge. I much prefer Grouper's weirder and more sound intensive and ambient and droney stuff. This to me was just very distant, very minimal, very I guess a moody piano ballad without a whole lot of structure to it. It was nice and pleasant while it was on, but maybe a lot of other tracks on this forthcoming project that is linked down there below on Bandcamp. Maybe a lot of the other tracks have the same vibe, so they'll all reinforce each other or something as an entire project. So I don't know. Maybe this one song by itself doesn't hold a lot of weight, but maybe in the context of the record. New Dr. Octagon, second single to drop from this project so far. This one, to me, lyrically was much less gimmicky than the last track, much more enjoyable. excuse me, check out Dr. Octagon if you haven't. It's been decades since Dr. Octagon has teased toward a brand new full-length album. Shout out to Cool Keith. Next, Ben Frost has a new project on the way. This new song over here is titled Self-Portrait in Ultramarine. Again, a song that, a lot like a lot of the material from his previous record, really love the sounds, really love the textures, but the melodic composition of the track, the structure of the track kind of left a lot to be desired for me. Wasn't too exciting, didn't really keep me on the edge of my seat, but still, Ben Frost does incredible things with sound and with texture. To me, he's an ambient artist whose sound treatments are very, very vivid. And if you could even call him an ambient artist, I mean, he's a drone artist, experimental music artist. Really love what he does with sound. Love his sound play. It's usually very textured, very noisy. Oh, also wanted to shout out, which is linked down there in the description box, the new Joey Badass / XXXTENTACION collaborative track, which isn't too bad. You know, it's not amazing. But still, I'm kind of sitting here wondering, why? Why? I feel like Joey creatively and artistically is like so far and ahead of X, and I don't know. I just feel like creatively they're on two totally different planets, and I guess I just don't really see the. I don't know. I guess I just don't see the draw. And now that I've heard both of them on this remix, I don't know. I'm kind of sitting here wondering, like, what are both of them really going to bring to a collaborative project? But I don't know. I guess I'll just wait and see, I suppose. Okay, let's get into the first best track of this week. New Uncle Adams single, Friends Over Enemies. A lot of you guys might know Uncle Adams as a Canadian rapper, bit of a music meme. I've talked about his music before. A lot of people have portrayed his music in a very negative light, and he's come out with some goofy tracks. He's come out with some questionable tracks. However, this new single over here, it's one of his better produced tracks, one of his better written tracks. It's got a pretty compelling music video attached to it, too. Dude's actually coming through with some pretty smart, heartfelt stuff, and wanted to celebrate the fact he's coming out with something really good this time around. And also wanted to shout him out and thank him for being a good sport doing that interview with me on the second channel not too long ago. So shout out to my good dude, Uncle Adams. All right, next, this new song, The Club from Hinds, the garage rock, sort of indie rock or indie pop quartet. This new song over here, really catchy chorus. As I said, kind of fuzzy, buzzy mix. It's got a lot of bratty energy to it that I like quite a bit. It's a very fun tune. This new song over here from Serpentwithfeet, Bless Your Heart. Killer, imaginative, inventive. I don't know. It's really just like from another friggin' planet, and that's all I can really say about it right now. That's all I could think to accurately describe it. Like, there are elements of it that feel like are coming from the art pop realm, the avant-garde realm, the R&B realm. It's really all over the place. It's beautiful. It's serene. It's really like so friggin' ahead of the curve. I'm just really not sure how to completely make heads or tails of it, but I know that it sounds gorgeous. I know that it sounds inspired. And it sounds like everything that I heard recently from that EP dropped under the Serpent with Feet name a little while back, but just kind of elevated, just elevated, and I'll leave it at that. Moving on from there, this new Paul de Jong track, You Fucking Sucker. Paul of formerly of Why Am I Being an Idiot? The books. Came out with a new track over here, a new solo project coming out soon via Temporary Residence Records. And this experimental sample-based folky number is hilariously foul at points, when, at least in regards to the lyrics. The guitar passages are pretty cute too. It's kind of a weird song for Paul, but honestly, I'm loving it. I think it's got a lot of character to it. I think it's really fun. I think it's got a good sense of humor, but it's also kind of catchy too. I don't know, if you check out any song on this list this week just for its oddity, do this one. Next, new Parquet Quartz track, Wide Awake. I love this song. I want more music like this. This is great. This is fantastic. This track has showmanship. This track has personality. It has energy. It has a great beat, a great groove. I'm just like falling apart here. I'm tired, but I'm still excited enough about this track to sing its praises and tell you how incredible I think it is. I don't know. I just really love the catchy lyrics. I love the attitude of the song. This is one of Parquet Court's gutsiest songs, but honestly, that was also the case for the last single off of this project too. So maybe this is going to be Parquet Court's gutsiest album. So I don't know. Just all I can say is fuck yes to this track. Fuck yes. Neko Case, Hell On is the title of the new track over here. It's a very elegant, epic singer-songwriter tune. A lot of dark music passages on it as well. Kind of love the multifaceted vibe of the structure on this track. It's kind of epic, and looking forward to her new record. She's really never come out with a terrible one, so really no reason to believe that this next one won't be fire too. Singularity. God, I'm just falling apart over here. I'm just falling the fuck apart. Singularity. Oh, this is the new John Hopkins, Emerald Rush. Beautiful tune. Great chord chopping on this track. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a great fucking song. New Big Ups track, PPP. These guys are kind of taking that whole, like, I don't know, post-punk, post-hardcore experimental rock. Who the fuck knows what it is? Like, noise rock thing to a new level. Like, I don't even know where they're at. You know, they're just like on a totally different point on the map. And it's freaky. It's freakish. It's animalistic. It's fucking off the wall shit. So big ups to my dudes and big ups. New Beach House track. Yes. This is the most cutting edge shit that they've done since Teen Dream. This is the most cutting edge shit they've done since that record. This is the first time since that record I feel like the duo has been legitimately trying to like experiment with their sound in a super tangible way. And I don't know, like the ideas and sort of the distortion and the weird mixing, like it's enough to make me rethink maybe my feelings on the previous track, which I did not like at all. But now I'm actually like kind of excited. I want to hear Beach House take a risk, because you can't be this Pitchfork darling forever. Transcend that, you know? And it feels like they're trying to challenge it a little bit with this new track over here. You know, it's got that same dreamy sound, but it's a little noisier. It's got some bite to it. You know, there's something kind of weird about it, and kind of ambitious too. So I'm loving that. And this new Anderson .Paak track over here, which was attached to a new music video featuring FKA Twigs dancing like crazy. Definitely not as rich melodically and as funky as a lot of the material that we typically hear Paak on. There's kind of like a weird stillness and minimalism to the instrumental on this track, but I still think vocally he's got a lot going on, and I think there's a lot of good things about this track, about this song. And that has been the weekly track roundup, guys. Hopefully I've kept it together relatively, because I am about to turn this camera off, get this video all wrapped up, and crash. I'm going to crash hard, really hard, guys. Really crash really hard. All right, you're the best. I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Forever.